Hi, my name is Annie, and I thought since it's a few days after Thanksgiving now, and everyone's got tons of leftovers in their fridge, and everyone might be a little bit sick of eating stuffing and mashed potatoes and turkey every day for every meal, that I would give you a really simple recipe that everybody can make with your leftover mashed potatoes to make delicious potato gnocchi for dinner tonight. It's a really easy recipe. All that you're going to need is some leftover mashed potatoes. They can be cold right out of the fridge. 1 egg, maybe 2 if you have a lot of potatoes and you want to make a really big meal, and some flour. So the first step is we're going to take a pot of water and we're going to put it on the stove to start it simmering and boiling. So I'm just going to drop that off back here and turn it on. Alright, and then after that we're going to add the mashed potatoes to the bowl. It's not really an exact recipe, so you shouldn't really worry that much. Just put in whatever it is that you've got. This amount of mashed potatoes will make a good dinner for 2 to 3 people, depending on how much you like to eat. So there's the potatoes, and then I'm going to crack in 1 egg. And like I said, if you've got a lot of mashed potatoes, then add in 2 eggs. It just helps to have it all stick together really well. Crack that egg in there. Alright, and you can kind of break up the egg a little bit with your spoon before you start, kind of get it started mixed in. And then you just add some flour, and you're going to add as much flour as makes it a good consistency for a dough. So you just kind of eyeball it, kind of mix it in until you think it's about right. I would start out with too little, get it mixed in, and then go from there. Sometimes it's really hard to mix with a spoon, so you can try to mix it for as long as you can with a spoon, and then you got to get your hands dirty and stick them in. So take off any rings that you've got and get ready to mix. Okay, now to make sure that it doesn't stick to your hands while you're rolling it into balls, I know a lot of people put flour on their hands or things like that to have dough not stick, but I think it's easiest just to get your hands a little bit wet, and that way it doesn't stick at all and it stays just kind of like slippery. So you want to roll them into sort of small balls, about a 1/4 inch to 1 inch long, about that big. And then just put it onto a cutting board and just fill up your cutting board with all of your little balls. And I'm going to cut the film now while I make this whole bowl full of gnocchis. And then I'll come back before I put them into our pot of boiling water. Alright, now that I've got all of the gnocchi rolled out into little balls, we're going to make it look like gnocchi, maybe sometimes that you get in the restaurants when it's got little fork splits in it. So you're just going to take a fork and you're just going to lightly push down on each one to make it have the little grooves, and that way it'll hold the sauce a lot better when you mix it together at the end. You can also get the fork a little bit wet so that it doesn't stick the same way as your hands, just to make sure. Just go through and gently press down on each one. Alright, now that I've got my whole board full of gnocchi, we're going to add them to the pot. Now my pot has been boiling lightly. And you just take them over and you just drop them in. And you want to make sure they don't stick, so kind of stick them apart from each other. And after you get the bottom full, you can wait. And it'll take about 5 minutes in the pot. So first, you're just going to let them stay wait until they rise to the top, and then about 1 minute. And then from there, you can just strain them. Just going to add all these in here. After they're all done boiling and rise to the top and you wait 1 minute, you can just strain them and put them into bowls, and they'll look something like this. Mine made 2 great bowls full for 2 people for dinner. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of sauce that I warmed up on the stove over here. And then you've got some delicious potato gnocchi to enjoy for your few days after Thanksgiving meal. Have a great holiday season. Bye.